Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be making some craft items and I'm sure that you will be happy to learn these secrets that I'm going to share with you today. If you sell craft items, I think you will enjoy seeing how these are made. There will be a pattern in the description box down below if you would like to try them out, okay? I'm going to try and keep the video short and sweet and easy and not to talk too much about what I'm doing, but hopefully you can figure out. I'm not going to tell you what the item is. So let's play a game today and let me know if you know what I'm actually making before the end of the project. All right. Today's video is also sponsored by Raycon and I'm going to tell you more about them a little bit later on. So stay tuned. I don't want you to miss this beautiful offer that Raycon has to give to you for Mother's Day. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So we're going to take two pieces of fabric and place them front sides together. Any color coordinations entirely down to you. All right, but I'm going to just iron them so that it's nice and smooth and it moves very smoothly. Take away any crease whatsoever on the fabric. This is the first one. Remember, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Okay, I've just steam pressed it. So the next thing we need to do is identify some areas where we're not going to sew because we need to turn it right side out. Okay, we also need to make a curved shape. I'm so sorry for the squeaky chairs. So I'm going to use my curved ruler here. You don't necessarily need this, but if you have it, perfect. If you haven't, not a problem. So I'm just going to do a small little curve at the corner there. The pattern will tell you exactly where to mark to get your curve. All right, so you can see that markings there. And the next thing I'm going to do is to identify where I am not going to sew past. So I'm giving myself two marking positions there, and I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see. So that's that one there, and those are the others there. So I'm going to stop. So just make sure that they are lined up properly. Now, you don't necessarily need any interfacing for this. You can do without it. It's quite easy. So all I'm going to do is to start at my curve area and go all the way around. I have my 1/4 inch feet on. Excuse me, not for any particular reason, because it's always on there. Right, so, but you can use any other feet that you would like, as long as you're comfortable using it. Okay, now because I have my 1/4 inch feet on, I'm going to use a 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric to go all the way down, making sure both of my pieces of fabric. Alright, so today's video is sponsored by Raycon, and here is what you actually get. It comes in a beautiful box like this. These are everyday earbuds. You also get a protective case. Okay, I have chosen blue for mine. There's a variety of colors, and of course your beautiful headphones comes in your color choice as well. So obviously, as you can tell, you know, blue is my favorite color, and I chose blue also. So these fit into here very nicely, like so. Okay, you also get these covers here, so you can choose for the perfect fit. It does also come with one already in there for you, so then you can try on and see which of these are the best suited for your particular ear. You also get a handle that you can attach to your case. What I love about this is that nice clipping sound that it snaps back really nicely, so you're assured that it's closed. You also get a charging lead. It is also a wireless charger as well. All right, so that is what you get in your packet. You also get a quick guide to how to use, but this is quite easy to use, to be honest. All I did, because I've been using mine for at least a week and a half now, so all I did is literally put it into my ear and switch on my phone and went to Bluetooth, and it immediately connected. Very, very beautiful. I would say that the sound is very, very lovely. Okay, so again, Look at them. What I do like also, it tells you which is left and right. So you can see a little marking on there. You may not be able to pick it up in the camera. Left and right, so it is easy to use. When you also put it on your ear, it speaks to you and tell you what bass sound, etc., that you are actually listening to. So whether it's sound up, sound down, bass off, bass on, which is really nice. The sound is very clear and crisp. And I'll tell you when you will need this. And I'll tell you now how it actually comes in really handy for me. So let's go back to the box again. The box is really beautiful. Okay, it comes really well protected. And I love that it actually says the name on the front. So you can tell your friends and family exactly what particular brand you are listening to. So one of the things I love about this is that when you open it up, it lights up immediately when you open it up there. So it's lovely, okay? I also like when I take it out, it allows me to know exactly where I need to put it back in. And it actually snaps in there, and I like that. There's a little magnetic that keeps it there as well, which is obviously an area where it charges. So love that snap point, okay? Now, why would you actually need this? Now, number one, it's noise cancellation. And what that actually means is that when you are walking the dog or doing whatever you're doing, you are not hearing the outside noises. So literally you are in your own little world, listening to your music, etc., or your podcast. Perfect for walking the dog. I like to use it when I'm actually in the garden, and that's my particular time. I'm falling in love with gardening now, and I like using the garden definitely as my little piece of heaven where I can just cancel everything and do what I want to do quite happily. Okay, I also use it as well when I get up in the middle of the night, because you all know I don't sleep very well sometimes. And so if I want to listen to something on my iPad or on my phone, this doesn't allow my husband to wake up. So absolutely perfect. It also has a very quick charge function. And I remember a couple of days ago, I forgot to put it on charge, and I'll give it literally 5 to 10 minutes of charge, and I had 90 minutes of battery life. Isn't that perfect? So if you forget to charge it, all you need to do is pop it in for 10 minutes for a charge, and you're off to a wonderful start. Okay. It is just half price for Mother's Day, and it's a premium brand, and it's much, much better than other premium audio brands, okay, with similar features. You are going to get 20% off. So it's a Mother's Day offer. So I would encourage you to definitely get one. So tell your children, for Mother's Day, I would like to have a Raycon earbuds. Everyday use that will keep me happy. So whether I'm doing my gardening, walking the dog, my quilting, listening to my favorite music while I do everything else around the house, I would like to have these just for myself so that I can shut the world off and be happy in my own little world. So tell them, in fact, send them the link and tell them, buy me a Raycon everyday earbuds right now for Mother's Day. And tell them also that they can save 20% if they do it today. So it's site-wide, and if they want anything else on there that they can give to you, tell them search around. In fact, you search around and choose the items you want. All right, guys. So don't forget the link, description box down below, and don't forget to tell your children you deserve to have this for Mother's Day. Let's get back to the video. When I get to the end, I'm going to stop a 1/4 inch away so I can pivot and turn and line up correctly to the edge of the fabric yet again. Remember those 2 marked areas I spoke about? Yeah, they're there. So I've just reached one. So what you need to do is to backstitch. Okay. And you can break thread if you want to, but I don't usually. I would just raise my feet up and just move over to the next area. Do the same thing, whereby I go down and do a full stitch and a reverse stitch and continue as per normal. So that will take me back up to my curve area. This is so quick to make. You can make a ton of this for gifts. You can start now to give away, and you can personalize it as well. All right, so just remove those threads, and I'm going to get this out of the way so that you can see. So remove the threads that I skipped. And I would say try to keep it tidy as you go so that it's easier to have less threads to snip away once you're done. Okay, now that looks fantastic. The next thing you need is a serrated scissors. Okay, now you could use a smooth one if you want to, but the reason I'm using this is because it's a curve, isn't it? We needed to be able to blend in or to fold over quite easily without any hiccups. So what I'm going to do now is push my hands through that space, and I'm going to open it all up and push all the joints out, or the corners. Now if you want to use something a bit sharp or pointy, not too pointy, you don't want to pierce through the fabric, I'm just using this here, but it's close to my hand, and fold everything out all the way through. Such a beautiful, simple project, nice and easy and quick to make. Whoever you give these to, they are going to love them because they are quite useful, and especially if the person have lots of them around their home, it will be useful. All right, so again, I'm just going to go back through and go through all four corners and poke them out just to make sure they're nice and pointy. I mean, that's one of my pet peeves, if I have to be honest. I do like them to be a little bit pointy. And for the curve, I'm just going to put it around and go all the way around so it's nice and smooth and it lays flat. That's the most important thing. You don't want to see a fold there. All right, I think that's good. Now we have an opening. So what I'm going to do is to lay this flat, and I'm going to make sure it's rolled open or rolled flat at the end. So when I say open, I can see the seam properly, and just press it down all the way around where the fabric meets. I've used two different tones of fabric. If you want, you can use the same, but I think it looks really nicer when you have two different pieces of fabric. Perfect for scraps, absolutely perfect for scraps. This is definitely something you can make scraps with and earn a little bit of money from if you sell them. So all I'm going to do right now is to take that opening and to fold it together so that it meets, because I want that fold to be nice and neat. So I'm just pressing down the first one, as you can see there, and making sure that the top one goes nice and neat on top of it. This needs to be very tidy in terms of your sewing skills. Keep it nice and neat, don't rush it. I mean, once you make one or two, you know exactly what you're doing and you'll finish it quite easily. But to start off, make sure all the extra threads are gone. And we turn it over, give it a good old press. Make sure that these two here come together nicely. And I can see my color fabric is a little bit more over, or under I should say, than the measurement of the gray. So I want that to really match up properly. All right, so once I'm happy with that, let's give that a little steam so it stays. All I'm going to do now is go and sew a top stitch all the way around, again measuring 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric. Okay, so what we need to do now is to ensure that we have all of those threads snipped away and there's no evidence of them. Make sure it's nice and neat and tidy. Snip, snip. All right, so this is what we have. So that top stitch now has closed that area. Okay, looking pretty. Very happy with it. Right, so all we're going to do now is to simply fold it. So my curve is on my left, so which means I'm going to be folding over to the right. If your curve was this area on the right, then you'll be folding over towards the right. Doesn't really matter. It makes no difference at all. It's really down to you. I have gotten into the habit of always curving when it's on the right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take the top and I'm going to put it right to the end there. And I'm going to press that down. And I'm going to make sure that it points there to the point and right there. Now I'm not putting it towards the end. I'm just putting it right on the seam line there. Okay, that's where it's actually meeting. So again, fold it there. And I'm going to take my iron. You need to have your iron next to you, as I'm sure you can see. And you're going to steam press that into its position there. Next, what we're going to do is to fold it as close as possible to the first fold over. And I'm going to finger press so I can make sure and feel where it is. You don't want to go over it in the sense that you don't want it to roll like so. You just want to go very close as possible. That's what you're aiming for, okay? And now we're going to fold back on ourselves. And again, we want these two edges to line up really nicely there. And we also want the edge at the front here also to line up. So fit everything nicely. If you need to make adjustments at this stage, you can. Notice I didn't press this fold just yet, okay? I only pressed the first fold and then I'm just folding over, making sure everybody lines up and nothing is peeping out. So double check. And once you're happy with it, I mean, don't over stress and you don't have to get it absolutely perfect, as long as it's sitting on there. And again, you're going to steam press. All right, now what we're going to do now is to top stitch all the way around. Well, we're going to just top stitch on these two sides. I shouldn't say all the way around, just these two sides. So let's do that. Have you decided or have you figured out what I am actually making to demonstrate to you? You can start on any end, whether there's a point here or at the top. Is entirely down to you. Doesn't really matter. And again, for this particular one, I'm just going to do 1/8 of an inch stitch. I'm not going to do 1/4 inch. All right. So as close to the edge as possible, just to give it a nice finish on that top stitch. All right, and that is simply it. That's how quickly you can make these without any issues at all. Literally the fastest craft project you would ever make. And you can make so much of this for yourself, for your friends, for for your family, for gifts. So let me show you what it's all about. I know you're going to love it. You cannot tell me you're not going to love this. So I'm just going to give it one final steam press. Doesn't that look beautiful? You can see that one at the back, that fabric, and then you get a layering of all of the fabrics. What I also love about this particular fabric is pick up the two different colors, a bit paler there, a bit brighter down there, which is lovely. All right, so let me show you what it actually is now. Now remember, if you have already figured it out as to what it is, please let me know in the description box down below and tell me the timestamp that you figured out what it actually is. So here we go. So I'm sure you can tell now. So that goes in there. That goes in there. All different sizes. And you can put the last one in there. Doesn't that look amazing? Let's look at that. So nice and easy and quick to make. Okay, you can make different sizes also. So I have made a few different sizes. As you know, I'm selling these. So there you go. So again, start with a large, medium, and small. And they all fit in there very nicely. So quick, so easy, so safe as well. Nothing is going to come out there. Everything is actually in there nicely. So let's put that one down. So I've made large and medium. Now, if you don't want to add scissors to it, you can add anything else. So these are your, I figure these are your scorers or markers for your fabric when you're quilting. So you can store these in there. They're really handy, and you can store anything in there that, you know, your heart's content, really. Really beautiful. So those are the ones I've made. Different colors. I've tried again, because I know sometimes you have one item and then somebody's like, oh, I wanted that color. So I have made a few of one color, or two colors, I should say. All right, very quick and easy to make. Now, if you wanted to make it look a little bit more prettier, so this is another one. So what I have done with this one here, especially if you want to give it as a gift, okay, I mean, it's nip that one, and I've given it some decorative feature. So a nice little floral on there, and at the back I've just made sure that the buyer knows it's definitely handmade. So again, added some personal touches to it. Looks very pretty. What do you think? Let me know down below. Do you think you can make this for your friends and family, or again, as gifts to sell, or, you know, really easy, really quick and easy to make this. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. Do like and subscribe for more. Share with me down below what you thought of the project, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Happy quilting, guys. Bye for now.